IPMNation.com.
I'm Derek.
I'm Zach.
This is Pat.
And this is Matt.
And we are 4/5 of Promise Me Empires.
Our vocalist had to get his nails done today.
And you're listening to Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com.
Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com. This is Matt from IPMNation.com. We're here at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia, and we do record here every Tuesday night. So the show's not live. We do record it, but anyone who wants to come down on a Tuesday night, come check it out, especially now that we're getting into the warm weather. We do invite a live studio audience here at the studio. And if you want to learn more about this place, very, very cool. Always support local businesses, funky little gift shop and art gallery and so forth. And you can check it out online too, thestudionh.com. And of course, Local Outbreak also sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your event, go to centralnhevents.com. And Mr. Tim Martin does a phenomenal job. And again, another very, very important that you support your local businesses, and Central NH Events is a big part of what makes this show possible. And I do want to thank, too, before we get to the band, Scott Perry from the Siren Agency for bringing us our guest tonight. And Scott, of course, and the Siren Agency, they do have a channel on IPMNation.com, a radio channel. So you can check out some of the bands that the TSA has been working with, the Siren Agency, at IPMNation.com/TSA. And tonight, Scott has brought us Promise Me Empires. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Nice day.
Yeah, well, use a little sun, but I'll take the warm weather. That's for sure. Now, so we have four of you here tonight. So we're talking with two of you to start out the show. Why don't you introduce yourselves, who you are, and what you do in the band?
I'm Derek. I play guitar and I do some vocals.
Okay.
And I am Matt Parker, and I play drums.
All right. And who are the other two guys who we're going to talk to later?
Right here, we have Pat. He also plays guitar. And we have Zach with us. He's our bassist.
Okay, very good. And who are we missing? Who didn't
Our
make it?
vocalist actually has to work tonight, unfortunately.
Okay. Now, we sort of have an unofficial tradition on the show. We kind of make fun of whoever doesn't make it for the interview.
Awesome.
So,
That's great.
That's
so
nice
That'll
to
be
hear.
easy enough.
so if you want to, anything you want to say.
Yeah, I think he was getting his nails done tonight or something like that.
Right. Yeah, any colorful just that you think of, just go ahead and throw them in. So
Yeah, he's doing something else.
you guys are a 5-piece. You definitely have a big sound. I was checking you guys out today online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really, really like it a lot. Well, let's play something. You guys brought some tunes, and then we'll come back and chat. What do you guys want to start the show with?
We'll kick
what
it
do you
off with
think?
Like Sheep.
Yeah, I think Like Sheep.
Okay. All right, cool. So this is Like Sheep from Promise Me Empires here on Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com.
Promises, fraudulent condolences, what is real?
Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com. We are at the studio in downtown Laconia, and we have with us this week Promise Me Empires. And so we have Zach and Patrick with us for this segment. And so the obvious question, where does the name come from? Let's get that out of the way.
I wasn't an original member of the band, but the name has been part of the band for a long time. I don't remember the original story, but I don't know if one of you also wants to step in for that.
Yes, step in because I'm curious. I'm just glad there is a story. Sometimes I ask, hey, what's the story? And guys are like, oh, we just like the name. And
Yeah, so basically the name Promise Me Empires, to us, it means finding what you're passionate about in life and building your life brick by brick with the things that make you happy, and just always staying positive no matter what kind of things life can throw at you. Just always be positive and find the strength within yourself and use that strength to help others and stuff in rough times.
Matt and our vocalist Griffin, when the whole group sort of started to get together and jam out, they are the only remaining original two that were kind of there in the beginning. And it was just kind of with a couple other kids that we went to school with. And one of those kids, I don't know how he came up with it, but he just kind of came up with the name, and it just sort of stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's we didn't really put too much thought into, how our name's going to affect how we play or how we sound. So we just kind of stuck with it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a cool name, and it's it's kind of it's unusual enough that you're probably not worrying about at some point you're going to find out that there's another band called Promise Me Empires.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So far we haven't ran into that problem.
Right. Yeah, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you guys been around? How long has the band existed?
I've been in the band for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
We started in February 2013 or 2012.
11, I think. 2011.
Oh, yeah. Time
I think
flies.
early 2011. Matt, Griffin, and Zach and I is when we all started to sort of jam together.
Yeah.
And Pat, he came a little later in the story. How long have you?
I've been in the band for about a year now.
Yeah, about a year. Pat's been with us.
Okay. So there's two original members at this point, did you say, or three?
I would say Derek, Zach, and the basis of it.
Murky beginnings, I guess.
Yeah, when everything sort of started out and the name came into play, with some of the kids we were going to school with, it was just sort of like a basement jam session sort of thing.
Sure.
But later on, once me and Zach had joined the band and we started looking to play shows and things like that, that's mostly where we look at our beginnings is not really like back
And that's when we started really making like our own original songs and stuff.
just
Okay.
trying to find our sound.
Yeah. How do you guys describe your sound?
If you want to be
Everyone hates this question.
Yeah.
if you want to put a label on it, then I think melodic metalcore would be a fair genre to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's really heavy, but I was checking you guys out today. It's very heavy, but it is melodic.
Mm-hmm.
How much material do you guys have? Because it looked like there's quite a bit that's available online as far as what you've recorded.
We have our Hierarchy EP that we put out on Halloween in 2013. That's 5 songs, and that's all that we have officially released as of now, but we have a lot of new material coming.
Yeah.
I would say in the past couple of months we've been doing a lot of writing and really focusing on like the newer sound, and it's definitely changed a lot.
Yeah.
It started as one thing, and it's weird to hear our older songs like Bear Claws and Rust Lung now, because it's so much different to like the newer production that we're doing, because we do our own pre-pro, and basically most of the time Derek will just come over to my house, we'll record a couple new ideas and put together a new song. So we are planning on releasing a single probably like early fall, and eventually that'll go towards our EP that'll be coming up.
So the stuff that we're playing tonight, is that all from one
Yep, that's all
Thing,
off
or-
of the Hierarchy EP.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And is it are all the tracks that you've done so far, are they is everything available online, like everything that we're hearing
You
tonight?
you can find it on Bandcamp to download. You can buy it on iTunes, a bunch of other places, Amazon, Spotify. What?
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, yeah, a bunch of places.
Yeah. I saw you guys had a video when I went to I forget if I went to, I think I went to your Reverb Nation page first.
That too, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you guys have a lot of, I don't know, I can't remember if I asked you this already. Do you have a lot of music that you've recorded thus far?
Well, all that we've released so far is just the 5 songs off the Hierarchy EP.
Okay, right.
But we are doing a lot of writing, and more materials coming together pretty quickly. So we're going to be looking to release something in the next coming months, maybe after fall, somewhere around there.
Do you guys all write together? Because with 5 guys in a band, that can get...
I'd say what we do is Derek will come up with some cool ideas based on like newer influences and stuff he's been writing and thinking of, and he'll come and we'll record a pre-production track, and I'll take a couple days to lay down the drums and play on my electric kit and see what I like to play along with, and then we'll reform it again, and I'll add some of my ideas, he'll add some of his. Then we'll basically have Zach come in on the bass and kind of take the outline of the song and maybe rework a couple parts and change some things for what he wants to be playing to make the bass pop right out, and then Griffin, our vocalist, does the lyrics.
Okay.
Yep.
And what we're playing tonight, where was that recorded?
The majority of it was recorded at Zing Studios in Westfield, Mass, with producer Jim Fogarty.
Okay.
And he worked on The Devil Wears Prada, Dead Throne, did guitars for them. He did a bunch of production for Parkway Drive,
Killswitch Engage.
Killswitch Engage very
Yeah.
heavily, and all that stuff. So we were really happy to work there. We also did a couple other of the older songs, Bear Claws and Rustlung, and Like Sheep, actually. So I guess a lot of it was done
Majority of
elsewhere.
actually the other place. Yeah.
At a different studio with one of our other friends who is another producer. So
Yeah, because everything I listened to online today, I mean, it sounds really good. You know, you can
Thank
tell
you.
it was done in a really good studio with what was his name again? The guy who recorded
Jim
for me?
Fogarty.
Jim Fogarty. Okay, yeah. Because I was going to say the name was kind of familiar to me. No, it sounds really good. Because with a show like this, with a local show, you get a lot of different, shall we say, different levels of production with some of the artists who come in. So.
Definitely.
So it's always nice to hear something that sounds really pro, you know?
Yeah, we definitely want to take the time and make sure we chose the right place to go that we thought could capture, like, still have that raw sound of like an actual recording, not all just computerized music, and we wanted to still have that modern sound.
Right.
And I think that Jim Fogarty did awesome on it. He actually did Fingerprints, Hierarchy, and wait, was that it, actually?
Yeah, because Like
Okay,
Sheep and
yeah.
Rustlung and Right to Bear Claws were done by
Yes,
Hayden Moon.
that's true. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's play another track from that. What do you guys want to play
I would
next?
say on that note, I'd play Fingerprints.
Fingerprints?
Yep, that was done by Jim Fogarty.
All right, very good. All right, so we'll hear that next. So this is Fingerprints from Promise Me Empires here on Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com.
your passions and find the joy in people. We need to stay together. We need to stay together.
Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com, and we are at the studio in downtown Laconia with the guys from Promise Me Empire. Well, most of the guys. We have one who's having his nails done, I think you said, or something?
Something along those lines.
Something along those lines, yeah. Now, where are you guys from? Are you all from New Hampshire?
Yep, we're all based in New Hampshire. We're kind of scattered about the state.
Yeah.
Matt, Griffin, and I, we all went to the same high school together in Bow High School. And Zach and Pat, Zach's from Bedford, Pat's from Dunbarton. But, I mean, it's not really a super bad commute, so...
Yeah.
Fairly close.
Where do you rehearse?
Right at my house in Concord.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We have a little basement place down there. A couple of us, the bandmates, rent out the house, and it's great. We just have the basement anytime we want to practice. We're fortunate to have that.
And we have the little, home studio in the corner where we can do our pre-production.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very that's really like you guys got a very professional operation going, because pre-production, like, who even does that? That's awesome that you guys do that. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I don't think I ever hear that word on this show. So that's great.
It just kind of makes things easier in the long run, just in a whole bunch of categories.
Yeah, because when you hit the studio, you're paying for that. You want to be ready.
Yep.
You want to be ready.
Time is money.
It definitely helps translate like the ideas that we have to the producer that we're going to go to and be like, here's what we have so far. You can see the general train of thought. And I'm starting to study audio production myself.
Good.
And live sound. So it kind of helps me practice all my tools. And every time he gets a new idea, it takes us a couple days and we put together a song. And from there, we call it a pre-pro track. But it's done decently to the point where we all can hear what needs to happen in the track and get each other's opinions on it. So by the time we get to the studio, it's ready to go.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Do you guys play out a lot? You playing a lot of shows? Or?
Lately, we've been playing a good amount of shows since about late last fall, early winter. We've been having, at least one a month.
Or more, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Lately, we've been going more so like every week, every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get on some bigger shows, which is really nice too.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys get out of New Hampshire a lot?
We actually haven't gotten the opportunity yet, but
Upcoming show.
yeah, on the 27th. Actually,
Lawrence.
April. Yep, Lawrence, Mass. That's going to be a really, really big show with I See Stars and like Moths to Flames, Lions.
Yeah. So, yeah, that'll actually be the night that this airs on 100.1 The Planet. So,
Awesome.
So if you guys are there right now while this is airing, I hope you're having a great show.
I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna say hi to myself in the future.
There you go. There you go.
Welcome back to the future.
Yep. When you guys play out, do you always play with other bands that are really heavy, or do you ever kind of mix it up and play some shows with bands that are different?
I would say it varies. It goes around the same genre. Sometimes it hits more of like a pop punk kind of sound, more alternative bands we definitely played with. But then again, we do play with like even heavier bands, because I wouldn't say we're necessarily like the heaviest sound, but we have a good range around the alternative and heavy. It definitely ranges. Like Within the Ruins were definitely a heavier band we played with.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other local bands that we play with are pretty similar styles to ours, and we just always end up playing shows with a bunch of those bands just because we get along so well with them, and all the people are so nice.
Yeah,
and,
they're really good people.
It's just a really good local scene, and it's nice that the sound collectively of all the bands, it doesn't differ so greatly that shows are kind of difficult to put on.
Right.
Order,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I imagine with this kind of music, you're probably jumping around a lot, putting out a lot of energy on stage.
Oh yeah. We try to keep a consistent performance every night, no matter how many people are there.
Yeah.
Just we do our thing. We try to play as tight as possible, but still lose our minds. So
Like we like to keep it tight, keep it clean, but you do kind of have to lose yourself.
Right, yeah.
yep.
Are there any other bands in the area that you really like playing with, that you've done a lot of shows with?
Definitely.
That you want to give a shout out to?
100% shout out to Rumors of Betrayal.
Yeah.
They just put out a new EP, Existential.
Amazing.
And
Can't
it's
stop
awesome.
listening to it.
And the producer, Kevin Billingsley, did phenomenal on that. We're considering going to him to record in the future.
Yeah.
We love that production. Everything was awesome on that.
I've interviewed them, but I haven't heard the new disc yet.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's
Definitely.
amazing.
Yeah.
Anna Saphira is another great one.
Oh, they've been on the show a couple times.
Anna
Yeah.
Saphira, excuse me.
Yeah. I always say it wrong too.
Yeah.
Who else? Imagine the Escape.
Oh, they've been on the show too. Yeah.
Man's Red Fire.
Don't know them.
Who else? One with the Storm. I want to give a shout out to
Yep.
them.
Definitely.
Definitely a younger band.
I was going to say, are they new? Because I haven't heard that.
They're
heard
just
them.
starting out.
Yeah.
That is from Buzz Inc.
Yeah.
They're starting to blow up really fast, and we're really impressed with how much they're progressing this quickly.
Yeah. Good. Do you guys have plans to like over the summer, like get out and play more shows in Mass and maybe tour around New England? Or?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. We actually just have been working with the Sight Set North agency, and we're going to be scheduling booking right now our first tour, and that's going to take us basically from Concord down through like Connecticut and maybe somewhere Rhode Island, and stop along New York, and then hit through Albany and then come home. So that'll be our first 5-day run. We really haven't played too far out in New Hampshire, actually not at all out in New Hampshire. So it'll be cool to see what those other scenes are like.
Yeah.
I mean, New Hampshire's definitely building up momentum, especially with the shows at Tandy's recently. There's a lot more people showing up, and the local family's starting to be rebuilt. But it'll be interesting to see what other states have for kids who just automatically go to shows every weekend. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool.
So when are you doing that this summer?
Yep, I think the start of it's on June 24th, sometime around then, and it'll be a 5-day run.
What's the name of the agency you're working with?
The Sight Set North agency.
Where are they from?
They're actually out of Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
But one of our good friends, Zach, from It Lies Within, he actually is one of the main booking people there, and he
cool.
runs most of the stuff, so we know him pretty well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's cool that you're going to be hitting Albany. I hear good things about the scene there.
It'll be cool to see, definitely.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So the new stuff that you're working on, will that be out by then? In time for your tour?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna hold off on doing any like formal releases, just because we do want to make sure it's specifically how we want everything done. Like, we have pretty good pre-pro songs now, but things might change. We might think of other parts we want to add and whatnot. So I would imagine that a little after our first tour, we'll definitely have a single available, but nothing on a full-length release or anything like that yet.
Yeah. All right, very good, very good. Why don't we? Actually, we'll get to the next. We'll get to the next track. We're out of time on this segment, but what do you guys want to play next?
You guys can decide.
Yeah, you guys get to decide. We're just kind of rotating in and out at will here. So
Why don't we go to the Right to Bear Clause?
Right to Bear Clause. All right. So this is Right to Bear Clause from Promise Me Empires. I almost said Promise the Escape because I'm thinking because you mentioned
Imagine the Escape.
Yeah, so now that's
Local
stuck in my head.
super
Yep. Promise Me Empires here on Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com.
You are louder.
Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com. This is Matt from IPMNation.com. And just want to remind everybody, of course, before we wrap up our final segment with Promise Me Empires, that, of course, we record the show every Tuesday night. So come on down if you're free on a Tuesday night between 6 and 7 here at the studio, 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia, thestudionh.com if you want to visit it online. But we'd love to see you in person. It's like I said, a funky little gift shop and art gallery. There's all kinds of cool art on the walls that gets swapped out periodically, and very grateful to Melissa for letting us do the show here every week. And, of course, CentralNHEvents.com. If you need a DJ for your event, Mr. Tim Martin does a phenomenal job. CentralNHEvents.com is the website to go to for that. He will show up and DJ your shindig, your hootenanny, your whatever it may be, whatever kind of party you're throwing. So you just have to pay him some money. That's all he requires. But also, too, want to thank Scott Perry for hooking us up tonight with these guys from the Siren Agency. And don't forget IPMNation.com/TSA. The Siren Agency does have their own little radio channel on IPMNation.com. So, and of course, all the shows are archived. All the Local Outbreak episodes are archived at IPMNation.com/Local Outbreak. So all the way back to the beginning of the show. We've been doing this about 5 years now. So, and of course, you can also hear the show Sunday nights at 10 p.m. on 100.1 The Planet. And guys, this has been awesome. Let's make sure we know where everyone can find you online so they can keep up with everything you're doing.
Yep. One of the best places is definitely if you just go to Facebook and find us, Promise Me Empires. It's one of the easiest ways. Or some other.
We also have, Twitter and Reverb Nation.
We have a bunch of stuff on YouTube as well.
Nothing to Something Entertainment.
From Nothing to Something Entertainment. Also, if you want to say a few words at all, you can.
Yeah, Travis, you want to lean in and say anything? Sure. You're the what is your official?
So I'm more or less the promoter, the marketing manager. Pretty much been working with Promise Me Empires for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
I've been helping them book a majority of their shows and trying to get them out there and expose them. I started from Nothing to Something Entertainment a few months back. Basically, it's a artist development project that I've started where I'm trying to find up and coming bands that have talent that deserve a little bit more and deserve that attention. And I've seen these kids grow in very, very large ways, and they're going very far. And From Nothing to Something Entertainment is something that is going to be looking for other bands like these guys and hopefully offering a lot more to the table like these guys are. And there'll be a lot of big shows coming up. We got one we got one the 26th, the 27th. The 27th is in Lawrence, Mass. at the Claw Dog. The 26th is at the Sad Cafe. And what else we got?
Another show in the works for sometime in May.
Oh, yeah, we got another show for May 23rd, but we're not releasing anything right now. But check out the From Nothing to Something Entertainment page on Facebook, and you'll find all the details.
Oh, very, very cool. And congratulations. You said this is a new,
brand new company? Yeah, this is started a few months ago, and talking to a few bands right now. Not going to drop it right now, but
sure.
More or less, yeah. I'm looking for about 5 bands total to basically work very closely with and hopefully start to rebuild the music scene. I've also been talking to Davey from Vanna, so he's also looking to start helping rebuild the music scene with me. So there's going to be some big things coming.
Let me ask you quickly too, because I'm glad this came up and you got on the mic, because we kind of assume with a show like this, most of our listeners are probably either people who are active in the local scene or just very, very interested in it. We assume it's a lot of musicians and promoters and so forth. What if a band is interested in seeing if you'll work with them and they want to get in touch with you? Obviously, they can do that through Facebook. But what's some of the criteria that you're looking for?
More or less, I'm looking for bands that have at least a foundation of recordings. Have done some shows, have been around the music scene for a little bit, that have the experience. I mean, I've been in bands, I've been in the local scene before, and it's you gotta be prepared. It's hard out there now. Yeah. The music industry has definitely gotten very, very cutthroat. But at the same time, we're trying to bring a positive side to it, and we're trying to not make it so competitive. We're trying to make it enjoyable, but at the same time, do your work, and you know what you got to do. And if you're really serious about your dreams, chase them, and don't hesitate. Go full on. And those are the kinds of bands that I'm looking for. The ones that I can tell are giving every little bit of effort that they can. And they deserve it. It's when it's apparent.
Yeah.
When they're tight and they know what they're playing, and they give their heart out to you. You know, it's obvious, and those are the bands I'm looking for. You know, and some of them never get the chance to actually get pushed.
Sure.
You know, they need sometimes that backup. You know, that's saying I believe in you, and you know you can do it. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I try to be that guy. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
And so is the Facebook page the best way for people to?
Yeah, that's
to
the
get in touch
easiest
with you?
way. That's the quickest you're going to get a hold of me. But like I said, I got a lot of shows in the works. So I mean, any local bands or any even signed bands, feel free to contact me. I mean, I do catering for all the bands. We have a DJ usually. We've been having an average of 350 amount of people, 350 people there at most of the shows. We're working on our 5th one right now. That's the one on May 24th. Or 23rd, sorry. And there's some big bands on that one too. It's a year since the storm and exiting the fall are apparently coming around, so that should be exciting.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow, you got a lot of good stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Well, you guys are in good hands, I think. So it's awesome. Well, thank you all for coming in tonight. And what do you want to play to wrap up the show?
Hierarchy.
Yep.
Hierarchy?
Thinking hierarchy.
Hierarchy. All right, very good. So this is Hierarchy from Promise Me Empires here on Local Outbreak on IPMNation.com. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let it be known.
IPMNation.com.